Hello, welcome to the Daily Bellringer. Please don't forget to subscribe and check out the questions in the description. Today we're going to be looking at President's Day. So President's Day is, of course, a federal holiday here in the United States, and it falls on the third Monday in February each year. And so, each state, for a long time celebrated this differently. And I guess let's just get into the history of how, it all really began. So, history of President's Day really all starts with Washington, George Washington. So, the earliest, I guess, incarnation of President's Day was really, began right at the beginning of the 1800s. George Washington died in December of 1799. And so basically, immediately upon his death, people began to say, hey, we should be celebrating his birthday because, he was the father of our nation, the first president, involved in so many big events in American history. And so on February 22nd, that was Washington's birthday, people would basically have celebrations for Washington's birthday. So wherever February 22nd fell, that's where, they would have the holiday. And really, this began to grow even stronger. By 1832, of course, we have the 100th anniversary of George Washington's birth. And then later, a few years later, 1848, they began to construct the Washington Monument in Washington, D.C. And so people began to really push to say, hey, we need to really make this into a real federal holiday. So in the late 1870s, a senator by the name of Stephen Wallace Dorsey of Arkansas is the first proposed to say, hey, let's make an official federal holiday out of George Washington's birthday. And so in 1879, President Rutherford B. Hayes signed it into law. Now, initially, the holiday was only celebrated in the District of Columbia, but in 1885, it was expanded to the entire nation. All right, and it was basically just Washington's birthday, and whenever February 22nd came, that's when they would have the holiday. But that changed in the 1900s. So it all shifted when we got to this Uniform Holiday Act. All right, so in the late 1960s, they began to really push for this Uniform Holiday Act. It was really pushed by Senator Robert McClory of Illinois, and he was really pushing this law that would take holidays, or many federal holidays, and move them to Mondays. And so that way, if we had a Monday, that way we would have a 3-day weekend. And we'd have a Saturday, Sunday, and Monday off. And so it would give workers a 3-day weekend. Now, of course, this had a lot of support from labor unions, but also had a lot of support from retailers. Because if you think about today, think about how many President's Day sales we have. Because people, retailers saw this as a chance for more sales if they could have 3-day weekends. All right, and so one of the big arguments was, we've got Abraham Lincoln's birthday in February as well. Abraham Lincoln's birthday was February 12th, 1809 was actually his birthday. And so, in Illinois, they were already having a celebration for Lincoln's birthday as well. And so the argument was, why don't we just combine Washington and Lincoln's birthday into one holiday and move the holiday? And so the Uniform Holiday Act actually passes in 1968 and then officially goes into effect in 1971, followed by the executive order from President Richard Nixon. All right, and so Washington's birthday, which now, kind of transforms into President's Day, went from being on February 22nd to the third Monday in February, along with Columbus Day was moved to a Monday, Memorial Day was moved to a Monday, Veterans Day was moved to a Monday, and so that way all of those became 3-day weekends instead of just randomly falling during the middle of the week. All right, so today, President's Day, recognizes really all presidents. And I realize there's been some argument about this of whether or not, this holiday really just focuses on Lincoln and Washington, or if it should recognize all commanders and chiefs or all, chief executives of the United States. Because some people argue that, by allowing all these other presidents in, that we're actually cheapening or making the holiday not as significant by having other presidents honored as well. Still, the main focus primarily is on Washington and Lincoln, since, of course, both their birthdays are in February. All right, so hopefully you learned something there, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I will talk to you later. All right, thanks.